The other thing about the difference with an anchor versus a seed deal is the seed deal can be a great tool to fix the fence sitter problem, right? Where you have a whole bunch of capital that's soft-circled, or at least you're hearing all the right things, and they're saying, we love you, we want to be with you, we're not there at the first closing. You need to close on something meaningful and serious, and then we'll be there after that. And when a seeder comes in addition to all the additional ways they support the business, which are of considerable value, it also allows for that institutional, whether we call it the good housekeeping seal of approval or just the catalyst to answer, not just answer the question, but provide scale and a real tangible event around which you can call everybody back up and say, we did it, where are you, come on in. And I think seeding is unusually well positioned to fill that role versus just trying to with potentially some fee breaks or some of the other things that people do to bring in anchor capital.
Yeah, so it's funny, I was talking to a manager that we work with. They have about $1 billion. They never took a seed. They're fully bootstrapped. It took them about 10, 12 years to get to $1 billion. And as we were talking, his thought process was, man, if I would have gotten some of this capital earlier, I would have accelerated my growth and helped me hit that escape velocity faster. That's really interesting. Now, the flip side is he owns all of his equity, right? So you need to think about that trade-off on the other side. But it can be a real catalyst and get everybody else in, to Gary's point.
Yeah, and I think that ties in nicely to a big question everybody always has about these deals, which is how are the economics ultimately structured? And I think Chris, your point in the beginning was very important, which is this is somewhat of a immature industry in terms of seeding private equity and private credit. The number of observations, while certainly growing, and as somebody who does a lot of seed deals, we see this as a much larger percentage of what we do, where it was vanishingly small back, say, 5 years ago. Now we may see a dozen or more a year. The economic structures for a GP, which has a bit of a different economic profile than a liquid, a hedge fund manager, where the scaling, if they're winning a lot of AUM, can look like a very steep and positive curve. For a private fund manager, they're raising money and scaling through vintages, which looks more like a step function than a line straight up.